Constraints. How does the default constraint work? Default is a column constraint in a create table statement and cannot be a table constraint. When inserting a row, if no value is specified and the default column constraint is specified, a default value will be inserted. The default value must be the same data type and fit in the length of the column definition. If no value is specified after the default and not null in the table definition, numeric columns will default to zeros and character columns will default to spaces. If default is not defined and not null is defined, and you insert a row with no data in this column, some relational database management systems will refuse to insert the row, while other relational database management systems will give a default value that matches the data type. Here is a sample create table statement with default constraints. Using this sample statement with an insert row and no values given, ID must have a valid value. Type will default to spaces. Num will default to null. The null definition is optional by default. All other columns will default to the specified default value. Access, DB2, and MySQL do not allow arithmetic expressions. MySQL only allows a literal as a default. You cannot use current date or current time. Oracle does not have current date. It has sysdate and default, which must be before the constraints. SQL Server does not have date or time. It only has date time. Please pause this presentation to study the details. We hope you found this information useful. Please come visit us at computerbasedtraininginc.com for courses with more examples and labs where you create and execute complete commands.